What's going on, everybody? This is Omar S. Murphy, and I'm glad that you're here with me. Look, guys, guess what? It's another beautiful, beautiful day to be in the land of the living, also to be blessed and highly favored. So all of you guys who are new to this channel, if you like this video, please subscribe to this channel. Also, hit the like button. Also, share this video so we can promote awesome content. So let's get started. Let's go! Hey guys, welcome back. So today, what we're gonna talk about? We're gonna talk about why I decided to buy an Audi A7. Now, for those of you who are new here, I've had this car for years, and for those of you who have been following for a while, you know my ups and downs with dealing with cars in general. So if you know my story of having, I own previous luxury cars. I've owned a Cadillac CTS. I've owned a Cadillac Escalade EXT. Also, even had a throwback from 2004. I had a couple Chrysler Sebring coupes, that had one had the 4-cylinder and the other had the 6G72 3.0 naturally aspirated motor. That's the same that's in the Mitsubishi Eclipse, the 3G Eclipse. And so you know my background from that. So for those of you who didn't know my background, now you know my background. I've also owned Volvo and Acura Legend. So I've owned many cars over the course of my life. And with that in mind, I decided to make a drastic upgrade, like really drastic. When I say drastic, I mean so drastic that it's on the opposite end of the spectrum. And here's what I mean by that. When I decided to get this car, I saw this remarkable vehicle on the road. It looked like a spaceship. And if you guys know anything about me, I love spaceships. Any car that when you get inside of it, it feels like a spaceship. It has all the luxurious amenities of having a luxury vehicle. It has all the latest gadgetry, all the latest technology, etc. Right? So, and actually the term spaceship came from my brother. He called the red car I had, which was the Chrysler Sebring coupe, limited coupe. He called that a spaceship because the way it looked. He called that a spaceship because I had staggered 22-inch wheels on it. It was like it was riding high. That was during my young and obnoxious days when I just wanted to put big wheels on everything because that was part of the culture and etc. But I grew up pretty fast, right? So I think I was the first person to ever put 22-inch wheels on the 2005 Chrysler Sebring coupe. Like literally, I think I was the only one to ever do that. And it didn't ride well. I mean, it didn't ride well. So fast forward, I own the Cadillac Escalade EXT, and I wanted to go the opposite end of the spectrum. I saw a beautiful car, and I was like, yo, that car is dope. Now, initially, I was like, I'm not really into 4-door cars. If you guys know anything about me, I like 2-door cars. The only reason I've ever owned a 4-door vehicle is because I have a family. That is the only reason. I am a 2-door sports car guy to the heart. I'll buy a 2-door coupe before I buy anything. So if I was to get a BMW, the M series, the newer version, it would be the M4. Or if it was an M6, it would not be the M6 Grand Coupe. It would be just the coupe. I'm a 2-door car kind of guy. I like being able to, and one of the reasons why I like 2-door, I'm gonna get to that in a second with this car. One of the main reasons is because, I just like it, and the Chrysler Sebring that I had, it was like the biggest 2-door coupe ever. I mean, it literally fit people more comfortably than this car. So it seated 5 grown people comfortably. How I know this is because when I was in Germany, I used to be a designated driver. Not saying that I was a designated driver, like you're a designated driver. When I was in Germany, I was in the Army, and when I volunteered on my spare time, because I had nothing else better to do, I didn't want soldiers to get caught drinking and driving or getting DUIs or getting public intoxication. So what I would do, I would drive down to local areas, like the clubs and stuff like that, and people that was in my unit, or people that I knew, like, hey man, I give you a ride back to the barracks. And I give them a ride back to the barracks. So it'd be me and four other people. So I would just give them a ride. If I was like, going to get something to eat, and I saw some friends of mine, hey, hop on in. So that's what I did, or my homeboys and us, we'll go out, go shopping, or go out and cool out, and it'd be all of us in the car, and it would fit all of us comfortably. And we were all tall guys, so we all fit comfortably, So that was like the most Now, I will say that is the car. I will say that car I had was the most economical, reliable car I've ever owned. I had zero problems out of that car. The only problems that I had out of that car, to date, when I had it, is I've blown a few fuses when I added an aftermarket radio to it because it was wired improperly. You know, because I wired it. You know, go figure, right? But once I figured it out, I was like, oh man, this is dope. So I mean, with that in mind, I came to the conclusion that I wanted something better. So I called the dealer up, and this is months down the line. After I first spotted the car, I was like, man, I gotta get this car. I gotta get it. Initially, I wanted to get that car for my wife. I was like, so I was on Auto Trader, right? And I was talking to my wife. I was like, yeah, babe, you know, I'm thinking like, you know, getting you this car, you know, that'll be pretty awesome. And she looked at it, she's like, it's nice, you know, it's you know, my wife is pretty nonchalant, you know. So she was like, you know, it's all nice and everything like that. That's cool. Oh man, that's my stereotypical female voice. I don't do that often. So to me, all women sound like that. Well, I don't know. I don't know what's going on. Don't ask what the last part was. Just I kind of, you know, just add that to it, you know, for comedic effect. But anyways, so she was nonchalant about it. I was like, cool, and that was back in like 2012, 2013, right? So when I finally made my mind up to go get it, so I traded my truck in, the Cadillac Escalade EXT, and the only thing I did was like a 1-for-1 trade. Give me that, and sign some papers over, and that was it. So I ended up, you know, owning the Audi A7, you know, and I was good to go. I was like, yes! And this was years ago. Fast forward to now, the cost of ownership, I'm going to say, I ran into a few hiccups on this car. Altogether, I spent in maintenance and things like that, I spent a pretty good grip. On the downside, the maintenance is pretty, you know, pretty up there. It really is. So the cost of ownership is up there. You know, people ask, you know, how much does it cost to own? I always say, you know, make sure you have at least, excuse me, I had to do an evasive maneuver because some, you know, jackrabbit decided to cut over traffic. So, people always ask, what is the cost of ownership? And I don't really have an answer for them because it differentiates. It matters what pops up with your car. I've replaced the thermostat in here. I've replaced a sensor in here. That's for the AC. And when the AC goes out, oh man, that's bad business. I was driving around for like almost a week and a half with no AC. And my other car, my BMW, was in the shop. And I did not want to drop my G35 because that G35 is squirrely, really squirrely. So I was like, all right, okay, cool. Let me go ahead and, you know, second up the drive on. But I mean, you get what you pay for, you know. I mean, this car is pretty stout, you know, it's pretty stout. So, I mean, when you're dealing with German cars in general, right, the motor is good. As long as you do maintenance, the motor good. Like the motor, the drivetrain, and the powertrain are good. You know, you don't have to worry about that essentially, as long as you keep up with your maintenance and things like that. Everything else is subject to change. And this is what I mean about that. It's those little things that pop up, you know, like your AC going out or your car overheating and, you know, your seat getting wet or, you know, or like this car has adaptive cruise control. So at the bottom in the front grille, at the bottom below the grille, it looks like fog lights, but those are actually sensors. And if those sensors are dirty for any reason, the adaptive cruise control will not work. So So it is essential that you keep that clean. The reason why I say that was a $145 lesson that I had to learn. Well, how did you pay for $145 for it? It's because when I took it to the dealership and I had to get service, I said, hey, my adaptive cruise control, it stopped working. I don't know what's going on. I turned the car off, turned it back on, it was working out. I was freaking out. Help me with that, please. Like at the dealership, they were more than welcome to even help me. They were overjoyed to even help me because they love taking my money for some odd reason. I mean, who doesn't like taking money? And they were like,
sure, Mr. Murphy, anything you want, you know, put some cappuccino in the bag, we have some espresso, we have some cookies, some cakes, some candies, some granola bars, water, whatever you want, go back there because we're taking your money.
And me being the person I am, I'm just like this. Nah, man, I'm good. I'm gonna take this here big old gallon of water and I'm enjoying it. But it's really bothering me because I want to know why my car adaptive cruise control don't work. Excuse me, I'm gonna drink some water while I wait and give you my money. But that ain't none of my business though. So, once they diagnosed it, I felt so slow. Like I literally wasted $145 on top of whatever was going on with the car. And the way they do it, they be like, the way they do it at Audi, they always say, hey, you need to do this, you need to do that. Man, I need a new battery. So, you know, I had this car for years, so it was the same battery that was from the factory, meaning it was in the car when the car was bought. And the car been sitting before it was bought. Then it was the same battery since day one, right? I was like, all right, go ahead. And you know, the windshield wipers, they had to be replaced. Fuel injection system had to be fixed. It was a lot of stuff that had to be done. And I was like, hey, how much is this gonna cost me? Do I need to prepare myself or I need to sit down and then prepare myself? Because I don't know what's going on. So as a result, you know, when I go there, they hit me over the head. So last time I went there to get a service and to get my oil change and stuff like that, that was about $385 for the oil change and the fluid and stuff like that. And some of you may be wondering, why do you spend $300-something on the oil change and service and all that? And I say this, how often do you, if you think about it, this, like if I drove this car, like I literally drive this car like I literally drive this car over 100 miles per day because I'm always out and about. That's part of my business, right? So as a result, I require more frequent checkups, tune-ups, and you know, I require more frequent service than the average person. I actually drive my cars. My cars are not trophies that I go outside and look and be like this. Man, look at those cars. They sure look pretty. I mean, those cars are so pretty. Ooh, look, bird doodle. Let me get that off that car right there. That's not happening. So, you know, I actually drive my cars. So, you know, I put the miles on them. This car has 106,452 on the dash, and I put those on there. I put those there because I said I'm gonna drive the cars. There's no reason why you drive a car and it should sit. I'm not Jay Leno. Shout out to Jay Leno. You know, Jay Leno got the illest car collection on earth. I mean, the only people that's topping Jay Leno are the cats in Dubai. I'm not them. I'm putting all the miles on every car I have. I don't care what it is. If I bought it, I'm driving it. When I get that Audi R8, and I said I'm gonna get it, and when I get that McLaren, and I said I'm gonna get it, and you guys are gonna be with me when I get it and all that good stuff. When I get those cars, I'm driving those cars every day. Now, how you gonna drive a car every day? Easy, very easy. When I get home from work, switch the car, right? Get in the other car, drive it, go get groceries, switch the other car, drive that, go pick up some pizza, switch the other car, drive that, and go and get a haircut. And guess what? I don't even get my haircut. I cut my own. But I'm getting a haircut just for that because I'm just switching it. I don't care. I'm just going to switch it. So with all of that in mind, I'm putting miles on my cars. I don't care. My cars are not sitting. Cars are meant to be driven, and they're meant to be driven a lot. And essentially, if you didn't know, the longer your car sits, the worse it is. Like, a car that sits all the time is worse than a car that gets driven hard, because the fluids are not being active. It's the way a car works. It's made of metal, and all the parts, especially in the engine and in the transmission, all of the parts require constant lubrication in order to maximize its efficiency. So the car and all its components, like the drivetrain, the powertrain, requires lubricants or lubrication. So essentially, it requires you to operate it in order for it to function properly. If you don't operate, it just sits. Much like the human body, if you just sit and that's all you do is sit and you don't do anything, then your body will essentially shut down. That's why a person who's more active is more productive than a person who's inactive. And I'm being trapped in by two goons. Everybody know I call the police goons, not because they're bad guys, because they will give you tickets. Tickets! I picture them like, this is how I envision police officers. I have one behind me and one in front of me. And this is how I envision the police before they pull me over, right? I envision them like this.
Yeah, you know what happened today, right? You know Omar? Yeah, the guy with the A7, the guy with the BMW, and the G35 that's all over YouTube. Yeah, him. Today, I'm gonna find him. And today, guess what's gonna happen? What's gonna happen? I'm glad you said that. He's getting a ticket. He's getting a ticket. Right off the bat. Because I have it ready. I have it ready. Ah, there you go.
That's how I envision it. I mean, there's no other way to explain why I get pulled over. I don't speed a lot. Truth be told, another police officer by me. Truth be told, contrary to popular belief, I drive this in my BMW, and in my G35. It's literally hard to speed. The reason why I say that is because, and I'm gonna give you the difference between driving in my G35, my BMW, and my Audi when it comes to the throttle position. When I'm in this car, the Audi A7, the throttle is relatively light. So it's light because it's a luxury car. So you want the throttle to have as little resistance as possible. So you'll step on the gas and the car will just go, and you'll be cruising, and all of a sudden you're doing like 90 miles per hour. I'm not admitting I've done 90 miles per hour. I'm not saying that that's what happens. I'm saying, you know, that can happen if you're not paying attention. And then you look at your heads-up display. If your car came with that feature, which mine did after all, it will tell you the speed that you're going. And you'll be like, whoa, that's pretty fast. So, I mean, with that in mind, that's how it is in this car. In my G35, you know, it's the least powerful out of all of them. So it's a 3.5 liter V6 5-speed automatic transmission, and it cruises at 38, 4,000 RPM because the rear differential is swapped out for higher gear ratios, so it's a gas guzzler. It's like it's really loud, but it's literally almost impossible to just, you know, creep into 80 miles per hour and above. You have to, you know, because it takes a lot to get there. You know, it's not a lot of low-end torque. This car has a lot of low-end torque and high-end power. So, and because the throttle is so light, it's easy to get there that fast. Now the BMW, which is by far the newest edition, which is more powerful than all my other cars so far, until I upgrade the G35 to handle, you know, 800 wheel horsepower. Yeah, that's coming. So, because of the 2JZ that I have lined up for it, when I step on the gas for the BMW 335i, what ended up happening is that the throttle is so heavy that you know what 60 miles per hour feels like. And then with 60 miles per hour, You can tether it up. You know, you can increase it to 70 and above. You can tether it down, but you literally feel it. So you are in absolute control of that car. If you're speeding in a BMW, right now, I'm snitching on everyone who owns a BMW, and I'm telling a secret. If you own a BMW, any BMW, whether it be the mid-level or the M-Class, you know if you're speeding. Because that throttle is so heavy, you know when you're speeding. It's without a shadow of a doubt. You can't say, well, I didn't know how fast I was going. You knew how fast you were going. You heard those turbos spool up, and you was like, woo! And you heard that blow-off valve like, swoosh! And you were like, woo! And all of a sudden, you're doing whatever speed you're doing, because I'm not admitting to anything. I may have told the secret, but I'm not telling the secret. Ultimately, you're like, man, this is a really fast car. But it don't creep up on you because you know how fast you're going. You see what I'm saying? So it literally does not creep up on you. This car, if you're not careful in this car, you'll be doing some speed and you don't even know. And that's the truth. Like, you'll get pulled over and you'll get pulled over by the cops, and the conversation will be like this. Well, do you know how fast you were going? And usually my response will be something like this. Sir, I had no idea how fast I was going. Then life goes on after that. But this car will get you in trouble. If you don't want speeding tickets, do not get this car. It's going down. It's going down because as soon as you hit, first of all, here's another indication that you're speeding. Tell the secret of this car. I'm telling. When you go 80 miles per hour and above, the rear spoiler picks up, right? It picks up, and the car sits down lower for aerodynamics, so that you can go a lot faster. Yep, the rear spoiler picks up to increase downforce, and you're gone. I'm telling. And then some say, why you gonna say that? Because I can, and I will. You know, why you guys didn't tell me my tire was all messed up? You guys are wrong for that. Of course, you can adjust the rear spoiler yourself. You can hit the button and the rear spoiler goes up, and you know. But if the rear spoiler was initially down and all of a sudden goes up, you're speeding. And some may say, well, I just hit the button to make it go up. You weren't thinking about hitting no button, because if you're thinking about hitting the button, you hit the button prior to driving. Who you fooling? I'm telling! Oh man, that's one of the reasons why I got the car, because I wanted to, you know, live the dream of owning a German vehicle. And you know, being in Germany, I was exposed to so many different German vehicles. And did you know that, you know, taxi cabs are BMWs, police cars are Mercedes. These are common cars over there. So when I had my my Chrysler Sebring over there, I was a hero to the German people. I was like, they almost named a holiday after me because of my car was so rare. My car, with its huge 22-inch wheels and obnoxious sound system, enabled me to be in the history of legends of the automotive world in Germany. Yes, I'll be on an Autobahn stalking Audis like, today you're going down, until my governor kicks in at 137 miles per hour. And when it kicked in so hard, it felt like my soul just left my body. Like, oh, my soul, go. So, I mean, no, I wasn't no hero. Come on, I'm exaggerating. I'm joking around with you guys. And again, for those of you who watch this video in its entirety, I have a treat for you guys. I want you guys to be the first of many to contribute to me expanding this YouTube channel and expanding my social media platform, or how they say, my social media clout, so that we can become a large, you know, community. Because I'm one of the few YouTubers that actually respond to the comments. If you have questions, I respond to the questions. I create videos based on your questions. So here's the thing, here's how you can do that. In this video, if you have any question about cars, if you have any questions about finances, spirituality. This is a faith-based channel. My channel is designed to inspire, motivate, and to encourage. But if you just have questions in general, feel free to ask, and I will answer as soon as I can, because I get a lot of questions, and I try to answer them in an expedient fashion. My channel is well-rounded. If you want to know more about the Bible and Bible verses, you know, if you have questions, feel free to ask, because my growth, our growth, when I say our growth is dependent on how we interact with one another. So if you guys interact with me, I'm able to answer your questions and, you know, give you some feedback on what I found out. You give me some feedback. If you have suggestions of videos, feel free to hit me up. You know, hit me up and we'll go from there. You know, hit me up on the comments and we'll talk. Also, go over to my Facebook page, Murphy, and also my Instagram, my Twitter. You know, like me and follow me on there. You know, that way we can get the conversation going. So if you had something quick you want to hit me up with, you can always hit me up on Instagram. You can always hit me up on my Twitter. You know, also hit me up on my Facebook page. You know, I'm always communicating with everybody. There's not been one time that if somebody asked me a question that I didn't give them the answer, or research and gave them the answer. Because a lot of times I may not have the answer available, but I'll do the research and let you guys know. You know, because I'm not going to say I'm all-knowing, or, excuse me, I'm not going to proclaim that I'm all-knowing and have all the answers, but I know how to find it, and I know where to find it. Feel me? So, and that's pretty much it. But guys, I thank you for your time. Please like this video, share it, subscribe to this channel, all that good stuff. But I'm going to end this video in prayer, simply because I want our minds to always be focused on the goodness of the Lord. Because without God in my life, I'm being honest with you, I will not have attained anything, okay? So Lord, I thank you for everyone watching this video. For those who do not know Jesus Christ as their Lord and Savior, repeat after me. Say, Lord, I believe that you're the Savior of my life. Lord, I confess that you're the Savior. Lord, I want you to come into my heart, and I accept you. And Lord, I believe in you, and I trust in you, and I ask that you empower me right now. And that's it. That's all you got to say. But I thank you guys. I love you guys. Peace out. And I'm going to holler at you guys later. I'm out. Peace.